Hello. I wanted to put together the first of a series of short videos on using artificial intelligence to help make your tasks here at school a little bit easier and more manageable. I was prompted to do this because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about this tool called MagicSchool. And after playing around with it a little bit, I was just convinced that it was something that I needed to share out with the rest of our staff and try to help support some of you who choose to try to use it uh, to help make your life a little bit easier. So this is just an introductory video just to kind of go over a couple of basics about the system, and then I will have separate videos on some of the key tools. So I'll highlight one tool in each video. So what is Magic School? It's an AI platform. So basically, if you, unless you've had your head buried in the sand, you've heard about AI, you've heard about Chat GPT or some of these other tools. There's a lot of drama going on in schools, especially higher education right now, around AI and the ethical use of it. And, you know, probably some of our students are using AI, and we've had conversations. I've had conversations with people. Allison has had conversations with people around, how do we know whether someone is plagiarizing or not? How would we know if somebody is using the AI tools or not? And there's not a definitive answer to that. There are AI tools that can help detect other AI tools, but all of those are only going to give you a probability rating, like 65% confident that this is generated by AI. And then what are you as an educator supposed to do with a number like 65%? So even things like Turnitin, which was a very popular website for a long time for teachers to collect student work and do plagiarism checks, even that platform has changed the way it works to be more AI ready. And from what I understand is a lot of people are leaving the platform because whereas it used to tell them, yes, this is plagiarized, here's where they got it from, or no, it's not, now it just gives you a probability score, and people are finding it much less useful. So AI is out there, but how you use it, how you leverage it, how you get it to do things for you is where a lot of people get stuck. They're not quite sure how to do it. They see it as a little game, like a chat bot, and that's about it. What Magic School has done is taken an AI engine and created a series of what they call apps, which are really just a web form where they are asking you to fill in the form so that they get exactly the right information, and then they handle formatting it properly for the AI engine to understand what you're asking for and give you hopefully useful information back. Right? So Magic School is not an AI engine in and of itself. It's a web interface that allows you to put information in a systematic way, in an organized way, so you can get better results out. So they've got 60 different tools, 60 different web forms that you can use to access the AI. And each one of those, after you have fill out the form and have it do its initial task, you can then have a conversation with the AI to have it tweak, edit, change, or augment what you've already done. And I'll show you examples of that later on in some of the other videos. Some of the things that you can use as a teacher or as some administrative staff at a school, there's a lot of different ways you can use it. Some of the things you can do, as you can see here, create instructional materials. You can have it do lesson plans, rubrics, unit plans. You can have it unpack standards, all types of things related to your planning work that doesn't actually necessarily manifest in the classroom in a direct way, but is some of the most time-consuming things that we as educators do. You can use the AI to help you do some of that. Differentiation for your students is another way. You can have the AI design different materials for different students at different levels. You can have it provide more structure for some students, less structure for others. You can have it adjust the text difficulty levels and the reading levels based on who you're working with. So you could have 2 or 3 or 4 different versions of an assignment that have been differentiated by the AI. You only have to create one assignment and then let it do most of the work to separate it out based on your students' individual needs. And it will take some time to learn exactly how to get it to break it down enough for specific students, but after a few times, you should have a groove where you really understand exactly how to get what you want and what your students need out of the AI. Another cool feature is that you can use the AI to help you write communications, generating newsletters, writing professional sounding responses to emails that you get, or just creating a professional email where you tell the AI what the key points you want to get out are, and it will organize it in a way that makes is clear and uh, easy for your recipients to process and handle. Uh, Another thing that you can do, which is kind of interesting, is you can actually use the AI to create new content for your classes. So, if I've seen 4 or 5 different things that all have some stuff I like, but I can't find one source or one piece of content that really has everything I'm looking for. Take the best pieces of several different uh, activities, plop them in the system, and let it create content for you that's unique and original that you can then give to your students. So lots of different ways of using this. Some are specific to classroom teachers, but some of these things like email communications apply to just about everybody across our school. Now, before we wrap up this video, the most important thing for you to understand is a few basic guidelines, best practices, if you want to call them that, for using AI. And this is where, if we're going to do our proper diligence with our students, we should be teaching them a little bit about AI and teaching them these same best practices for how to use AI in your classroom, as opposed to just saying, no, you can't use it. The first and most important thing is always check what you get from the AI for bias and accuracy. Right? It's only as good as the data it learned on, and it can draw false conclusions. It can be working off incorrect information. And so make sure you always look at every single thing, read it over before you hand it out to kids.
Attention PVPA, all BSU show.
Sorry for that interruption. So always double check before you give it to the students. The 80-20 approach. This is where, basically let the AI do about the first 80% of the work. Let it help get things organized for you, provide you a lot of the details that you need, and then you should spend a little bit of time tweaking, adjusting, checking, and then framing everything to make sure what the AI has given you is appropriate and is actually going to be useful for your students. So, we're going from you having to do 100% of the work down to maybe having to do about 20% of the work, especially once you learn how to use the AI a little bit. It will speed up your workflows tremendously. Another thing to keep in mind here, like we always say with our grading system and everything else, is professional judgment is extremely important. It's one of the key factors in education. So use your professional judgment. Use the AI as a starting point, but make sure that you're following school policies and rules and local and state laws and regulations. And get comfortable with the fact that what you're getting out is not the definitive word. Get comfortable with the fact that you're going to get information from the AI and you're going to continue to work on it. It's not the final product coming out of the AI engine. Again, it's your starting point. It's your 80% of the work maybe, and then you're going to put in the final 20%. Another thing that's really important to understand is that AI has limits. It's limited by what it's learned, the data set that it's been trained on. MagicSchool, in particular, as the most recent information I've seen, is their AI training stops in 2021. So any information, any new knowledge, anything that's been added to the internet, anything that's happened culturally around the world is not going to be in MagicSchool. If you're trying to do anything of current events related, this is not the tool for you. Okay, so you can use it for historical stuff. You can use it for going back more than a couple of years ago. But if you want something that's happened in the last 12 to 24 months, this AI engine is not what you're going to want to use. And ultimately, just recognize the fact that, like any one of these tools, garbage in means garbage out. If the data set that it was trained on is junky or incorrect, then the data you're getting out is going to be junky and incorrect. And that's what we need to keep in mind, that we have to check and make sure that the AI engine we're using has been properly trained and that we know exactly what data sets and what data limits there are. And finally, really important, when you're putting information into the AI, make sure that you're protecting student privacy. Never include names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses. None of that stuff should get put in there. Okay. Now, Magic School is FERPA compliant, so they do their best to try to make sure that all personally identifiable information about students is not included in their AI engine, and the system actually will, using AI, figure out uh, when something looks like it might have been accidentally submitted, personal information that shouldn't have been there, and it will purge that from their system on a regular basis. So you are kind of being protected a little bit, but still, ultimately, you should make sure that you're not putting personally identifiable student information in there. First names are okay, initials are okay. You should never use like a first and a last name or a first name and an email address or anything like that. Finally, how do you get to Magic School? Well, actually, the address is pretty simple. You can do magicschool.ai, or to get straight to the login page, you can go app.magicschool.ai. You can scan the QR code that's here on this slide as well. When you get to Magic School, you're just going to click the sign in with Google link and then use your PPPA account to go in. I think it's going to ask you whether you're a student or a teacher. So select teacher, set up your account, and then you're going to be on a 14-day trial of the professional version. However, even when that runs out, you have access to all 60 of the AI tools in Magic School. I believe you're just limited in terms of how much you can do in a month. Like most of these AI tools, you get credits, which allow you to buy, quote unquote, buy um, CPU time on the AI engine's computer's brain. Um, how much time is my job going to require? You're going to use a certain number of credits to complete each of these jobs. If you've used Chat GPT or any of these other things, you've probably seen these sorts of credits before. Unfortunately, it's a bit dynamic, so you can't look up how many credits you've got left. But if you're really, really burning through your credits and Magic School says, oh, you're going to be getting close to your limit and you have 17 days left, it's going to give you a warning to let you know that you're getting close. I've been playing with it and I have not seen that warning yet, so I think you have some pretty decent credits in there. That's basically it. Look for a couple more of my videos to come out very, very soon on some of these tools. I'm going to start with what I think are some of the most interesting or most useful tools, and then I'll continue to go down to more selective tools that maybe apply to some people but not the entire school body. But I'll have a web page with all of these things linked, and that way you can have kind of a complete resource to come back to anytime you'd like. Let me know if you have questions. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you enjoy the future videos as well. Thanks.